Hi everyone, I hope you are having a great time. Today I'm going to share very exciting another deck. So this one is Gusted Audio X26-3. So this one is the generation that they release on this X26 series. They also had the R26 and A26 in similar price range. So X30 deck is the top of the line offering. So this one I've been using it for a while. I was busy and I didn't have enough time to shoot video and share my experience with you. This week is very good week because I had back to back very musical decks that I enjoy and share my experience with you. So previously I reviewed iFi Audio Zen Deck 3 with multi-bit bar brown chip. That is very good experience and very good price point of entry-level offering. This Gusted Audio X26 Mark III is retail for $1,600. So they may have special sales going on for this time of the year. So please check out their distributor. So I've been using this deck for a while. I try back to back with their top of the line offering Gusted X30 deck. So I will make sure to share that experience with you as well. As I started off, as usual, I started off from my streaming setup, watching movies and everything. So I was pairing with Gallian Audio TSC20 as well as a few different amps that I tried. So when I'm trying with those amps and that setup, what I notice is transparency and neutral sound. Very nice, engaging richness in upper mid-range and those regions. So that is not my main setup, so I don't conclude or I don't judge overall character of this deck. So when I moved it here, I started using with these two speakers, JBL L100 Classic 75th and this S1EX towers from Pioneer Tech Design. So I started listening with the S1EX towers. I went through a lot of different music as usual. So what I noticed is how nice it can produce in depth and width of the soundscape is with very nice and precise stereo image that it can deliver. Incredibly good. If I have to choose A26, R26, and X26 Mark III, this X26 Mark III will be my first choice in that three decks that they offer in this price range because it gets best of both sides. R26 kind of high quality music and mid-range, A26 kind of bass control and depth and deep bass and dynamic attack and everything combined. They design it so well using ESS 9039 Pro dual chip design. So it's pretty much half of X30 deck with half of X30 price, but performance and sound quality is not half. You are getting more than 3/4 worth of performance and sound quality in comparison to X30 deck. In terms of sound signature, it has neutral tone to it with nice and rich tonality with slight warmness in overall frequency range. Bass is deep and rich with nicely produced with very articulated notes and dynamic attack that it can offer. That's not only lower bass, upper bass is slightly more pronounced than even X30 deck. So that's where the slight differences are, as well as mid-range and upper mid-range is well-defined sound with very nice articulation in all over the frequency range with good separation and richness in tone and balance in that region as well. So mid-range quality, I mean A26, R26, this one is just head and shoulder above those two, in my opinion, in my experience using those in my system, right? So compared to X30, this X26-3 is slightly lacking in darker background, clearer and more precise mid-range, holographic three-dimensional soundscape and soundstage that it can produce. Performance, you are getting probably like 85% of X30 DAC. Areas like micro detail and precision notes and tiny nuances and those kind of area, X30 DAC totally excel over this X26-3. Just to give you a simple example, right? When I'm listening to tracks such as AC/DC Back to Black, that intro, right? The snare drum is striking and then timer is calling on the drum, and the drummer is not really hitting the bass drum with the hammer, but he is doing the heel timing with his heel. So 1, 2, 3. That timing, that little, bumping on that floor, the heel noise is not noticeable compared to X30 DAC and this X26-3. So those kind of small areas are different. So that's where X30 DAC totally excel over any of the series, R or A or this X series. So price is totally different. I just want to give you where the differences are for the extra money and sound quality that what you're gonna get with X30 DAC. So that is incredible reference grade sound quality that we are getting even in this X26 Mark III. But if you are really used to X30 DAC like I am, so you will notice that mid-range is slightly more pronounced, slightly more forward, and mid-bass is a little bit more pronounced as well. Some people may prefer that way as well. It's not totally forward kind of sound either. It just gives you nice pronounced notes in those regions. That's all. And price is just incredibly good for sound quality that I'm hearing. So I was like, man, this is a DAC that we can call it a day. I mean, this is end game DAC for most of the people, in my opinion. If I'm shopping for any DAC at all, this is gonna be my first choice under $2,000, period. That's how good this one is. So this one totally give you all the musicality and noise control and performance and sound quality that you ever need, because this one will pair well with any type of components. The way that it sounds, the way that it behaves, and the way that it has the signature sound of overall soundscape and depth and everything that it combines. So it uses two ESS 9039 Pro chip with ESS 9311Q power management chip in there with Guster Audio custom made clock inside. So they can also attach external clock if you needed to, but those all the digital inputs as usual with two analog out, so you can also use it as a pre-DAC if you needed to. But pre-DAC on this one, I find it to be not as good as dedicated DAC performance in terms of the sound quality wise. So that's my personal preference. Some people may not mind it. So, and streaming features and everything, it works as good as X30 DAC or other DACs that they offer. We also have address that you can enter. All the streaming capabilities such as room bridge, or those are everything ready. So this is one of the DAC that probably Best Buy DAC that you can have right now, because I try to find the weak link and weak point of this, right? Only thing I could I mean, I can come up with is like, they should have a simpler streaming feature. My setup is, as usual, very simple, right? The Matrix Audio SS1 Pro network switch Ethernet cable directly to this X263 and streaming music from Amazon UHD or streaming UPnP from my NAS. So that is like always has been. So it doesn't matter where I stream or where I listen, it's totally offer very good sound quality. If you already have A26, if you have R26, it will be good upgrade, but depending on your pairing components as well. Ultimate upgrade is X30 DAC in my opinion. If you want end game DAC, like it can go toe to toe with $10,000 DACs in terms of sound quality and performance. And another thing that I've been noticing with this Chinese brand, they're starting to shifting away from totally transparent sounding DACs. They're starting to offer their own sound signature. Guster Original X series, it's very good DAC, but it's very transparent for my taste. I liked it, but I never love it, right? This one, I really love the way it sounds in my system. Doesn't matter what amplifier I pair with. So I pair with my Accuphase E4000, listen with this S1EX towers, the mid bass and the stereo image and lower bass and the dynamic impact and everything combined. I was like, no, this is something we have to take notice. They are improving generation after generation in terms of sound quality and signature sound that they try to give us. So price is very good for that, right? This side of the wall, all the brands that offer this kind of sound quality and performance, I would say we are looking around like $5,000 easily. So this X263 is that good, right? So prices, I have no complaint at all. Build quality is very good as usual. You can also use in NOS mode. So NOS mode, I mean, it's okay. When I'm using these kind of Delta Sigma DACs, personally, I'm not really big fan of NOS mode, right? So, but they sound very good as well. But I prefer standard setting, factory setting, vivid filter setting without touching anything, volume control at the fixed position, meaning you are totally bypassing internal gain control. You are simply using just as a DAC. So I want to go back to X30 DAC comparison a little bit, right? So when I'm listening back to back, what I can also notice is the refinement and spaciousness and airiness. X30 totally excel over this X26 Mark III, and background is already mentioned, right? Air and space and micro detail is totally noticeable. But if you have very revealing system, I would suggest you to use this X26 over X30 DAC. But if you have neutral and transparent sounding setup, doesn't matter what you choose, you will be very happy with the sound quality that they can offer. As always, sound quality and preference is depending on personal taste and pairing component. This X263 perform and sound incredibly good in my system. Highly recommended, my friend. That is my experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
Look at the sky, it's the color of love. the bridge to your heart, all the way. How many times I've lived inside your heart, can't say. When I was there to you, you were the one for me. I swear that
celebrate on the bass, Mr. Torigoe Keisuke-san. On the guitar, Orima Yosuke-san. Yeah.